Mr. Smith is not present. Mr. Krieger, who was not in, has arrived, and Mr. Sean Krieger, to be followed by Mr. Robert Horton.
How's everybody doing today?
We're doing fine, Mr. Critter.
How's it going? You guys are probably wondering why I'm dressed like this. Very strange. Well, I was dressed like this on the morning of October 2nd. I was on my way to the YMCA downtown. It's where I shower every day because my wife and I have lived without sewer now for 15 months. 15 months straight. I got a call. I actually got multiple calls from multiple people that a burglar was in my house and was robbing my residence. It's only a few minutes away. I quickly drove back as fast as I could. A couple minutes later, I go inside. Sure enough, there was indeed a burglar inside my house. So I grabbed my gun and chased him outside the house, chased him away from my car that he also tried to burglarize, and he was about 100 yards away, still shouting, still saying all these things. Once I'd secured myself and my premises, I called 911. And I spoke to the dispatcher, and this gentleman was shouting and shouting and shouting, and I told the dispatcher, I've played this game before. If you guys remember when I was here last time, I had a burglary at this same property. HPD no-showed it. 2.5 hours later, no one showed the call. I saw someone burglarize my house, fence the goods, sell it for drugs, and then do drugs on the street. Couldn't get any help. So I said, this time is different. I will follow this man as long as it takes until an HPD officer arrives to arrest him. So I did. Followed him a couple blocks, gladly. HPD showed up 6-7 minutes later. Then they wrongfully arrested me. Held me 24 hours, no charge. Officer pulled a gun on me. Kind of a big deal. Now, while I was arrested, one of the officers present said that I had a, quote, history with Houston Police. They are correct. Not that I've ever been charged with a crime, but I wanted to tell you the last interaction I had with this HPD officer. I called for a routine grilled seal inspection. This was right after I'd just spoken to counsel the previous time. This is a simple inspection, but things had been boiling over between me and permitting. We'd been getting angry at each other, having problems, so I finally said to Bobby, who was head of permitting at the time, I sent him an email. I said, Bobby, I'm not going to be at this inspection anymore. I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm tired of dealing with the negligence, the fraud. The door is open. Your inspector goes in. Whatever problem they have, write it down. I'll deal with it. Inspector shows up with 4 police officers in tow because they feel as though I'm harassing or threat, what have you. The inspector writes locked on a sheet of paper, puts it on the door, never checks the front door, shuts my house and my project down for another day and leaves. Now today, I have a developer participation contract. It's $132,000 to connect my house to sewer. I'd like to offer a second one as well, one that's not approved by permitting. $17,000. I'm here to discuss both. Here we go. I yield the floor. Yield the floor. Sorry.
Oh, well, Mr. Krieger, what I'm showing is that on March 29th, you were looking for a 100% reimbursement for the developer participation contract. And they explained to you that 100% DPC option does not exist. Did they explain that? Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. And then they see developers a 70% developer participation contract in which the city will reimburse 100% of the engineering design costs. Did they explain that? And then the last thing I see is that it says Mr. Krieger informed Houston Public Works he would apply for the 70% DPC. And they said as of yesterday.
I had not. I have it here today. I'm going to actually submit both, and I want to speak to counsel before I did so, because one of them is $132,000 with $62,000 in engineering fees that they've already told me they're not going to pay. It involved 15 months of running around, 40-something meetings, more hours than you could imagine, and that's at a discount. And the other one, $17,000. It will connect 2 houses instead of 1 and do the exact same thing following an existing abandoned line.
Okay. Well, go ahead on and make the application.
Okay.
Let's see how it works, okay?
And I want everyone in council to be aware. In this application, it says that council can approve basically whatever they want. There's a clause in this contract. So I'm going to leave it in your hands. It's my wife's birthday. You guys have put us through more than you can imagine. More than you can imagine.
I think you need to make the application with the HPW wherever it needs to be, okay?
Okay.
Okay, hold on one second. Councilman Laster.
Mr. Krieger, I think it's good to see you again. I always enjoy seeing you, but
Always a pleasure.
the last time I saw you, you were having a real hard time on a project that you were doing here in Houston. You were having problems with permitting. You were having problems with a lot of folks. Apparently, that still hasn't worked itself out, right?
No, it hasn't. It's been almost a year exactly, 11 months.
And you're having issues on a particular project that permitting keeps red tagging. Is that right?
Every project. I struggle with permitting at every step of the way because there's no due process. A single inspector goes out, doesn't have to write anything down, and can shut down your project.
Have you met with the head of the permitting department?
Oh, sure.
Have you met with the Public Works Department?
Yep.
Director?
Both of them have blamed me.
Have what?
Have blamed me every time. I have never had a single permitting official at any time in the last 4 years ever take responsibility. Not once. Nor has HPD, and I have open IA complaints, and we have 6 witnesses against one officer who watched a crime happen to me and had the audacity to say, I'm not chasing a suspect today. That came back unfounded just last week. I'm waiting on the actual paperwork. So this is a citywide problem. It is. In fact, the last time I met and I spoke with you, I told you in the back room, I was breaking down, I was crying because I was very stressed and I knew it was coming. I told you, Houston police are coming for me. And you said, oh, don't say that. They did. They did come for me. We have it. What am I supposed to do? I come to the leaders of the city. That's you guys. What is a man supposed to do? You shut down my house, kept me without sewer, stolen away my freedom. I mean, this is bad. This is very bad.
It sounds terrible, and I wish you the very best, and I hope you get counsel to help you with what you need to get done.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kruger.
Have a good one.
The next speaker, Mr. Robert Horton, is not present. Mr. Steve Williams is not present.